Since 1960, the rate of boys in the United States without fathers has quadrupled. 85% of youths in prisons and 2/3 of high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. But there's an organization here in Tucson that actively recruits and trains men from the community to mentor teenage boys by accepting, listening, and encouraging them, guiding them from boys to men.
I was raised to never cry, to always dominate, to always be in control. Don't show weakness. Don't act like a girl. Don't act gay. Don't ask for help. Don't show any emotions or weakness. That socialization process is really clear links to higher rates of depression and suicide and even school shootings.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
About 12 years ago, we piloted our first group mentorship talking circle in Tucson High School. And since then, we've really just grown by word of mouth as other schools have invited us in.
Okay, so this is how this works.
My name is Dominic Perez. I'm at a Boys to Men circle at Pueblo High School. Try to go on every outing that we have.
Can you tell me what skills you've learned from Boys to Men?
To open up about my feelings and tell people what I want and what I don't like and what I like, and it's just giving me better way to talk to people.
About 12 years ago, we piloted our first group mentorship talking circle in Tucson High School. And since then, we've really just grown by word of mouth as other schools have invited us in.
My name's Ramiro Ramos. Last year, I had a lot of problems with my dad, and I took it out on my mom and my stepmom. My counselor at school recommended Boys to Men. I realized that there's a lot of things I can't control, so that gave me a sense of relief. It's an awesome group of men who have more or less the same problems as you. Because they're men doesn't mean that they're the typical kind of guys who criticize you, and they're generally good men. Oh, sorry, I'm good.
It's like I was right there at the mountain.
For a lot of the boys, they have a tremendous amount of trauma, pain, stuff that they've been holding tightly. The Rite of Passage Weekend, which we just did, it's an intensely structured weekend for the boys to look at who am I, who do I want to be, and what's in the way. And the men are really there to just support them in that deep reflection.
I'm Waylon Etheridge. Most people call me by DJ. Without the Boys to Men, I probably wouldn't be around. I started being with the community in 9th grade, now I'm in 10th. I really do enjoy the Boys to Men community. They are a safe place for certain things that I would really enjoy talking about that I can't really talk to other people about. I used to be teased a lot with who I was and my personality. But with the Boys to Men, I feel more safe around other people and that I feel respected as well.
What is he doing? Oh shit, I almost tripped over a hole.
So have you guys checked this out?
We find tremendous safety in our programmatic approach, which is group mentorship. And that's really different from a lot of other mentorship organizations that focus on one-on-one. So we specifically never do one-on-one. We make sure that there's always at least 3 folks together at any time. The group mentorship model also helps to support the men in showing up. It takes some of the pressure off for mentorship that men can sometimes feel.
My name is Alonzo Bailey. I work at Tucson High, and I saw a training for how to become a mentor, and it was through Boys to Men. I think one of the biggest and the major things is creating space for men, young men, boys to be themselves and be vulnerable and open, and it be okay outside of these spaces that we open up, like the open circles. There is no other space.
I'm terrified of heights, but knowing that there's people behind me to support me, that's the only reason that I actually went where I was. So thank you guys.
You're welcome. Thank you. Is there anything you're holding on to right now that you feel you've just not shared, you've held back? Now's your time.
And I haven't really shared this to anyone else, but only to Carl and a few people. But I'm also out here for my sister Faith. She had gotten into a serious car accident just recently, and she is still in the hospital now, but she's doing a little bit better. I just wanted to give you guys that information of what's been happening currently in my life.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
We're holding it with you, DJ.
Indeed.
It's not just you. But what is it? What is that? What is something for you in your life you're carrying around today that you brought to this weekend? Can you think of it? Would you? Might be a relationship. Might be some grief. Might be some sadness. Might be anger. I'm mad at this person and I'm carrying it. Whatever it is. Might be shame, regret that you're carrying, fear about something. And just maybe you could begin to identify what that thing is and how it might just begin to shift on this weekend. Just a little. Find some chances on this weekend to risk letting one of your brothers here support you in that process. To risk letting someone have your back, letting someone encourage you about the thing you fear the very most, the thing you keep private, that maybe there will be an opportunity on this weekend to not have to try to do the hardest things in your life all by yourself.
I'm just going to say one of the things that I had to work through, I never received the blessing of my father. I was putting my life on hold, my power on hold, because I thought in order to be a man, in order to be the man I needed to be, I needed that man's blessing, and it was never going to come. So I would never get what I needed if I didn't let that go. This is the work, man. We're doing it.
All right.
I love you guys. Love you too. All right, let's go back.
All right.
Thank you.
Sharp left when you get out of the
I'm Tim. This is my third Rite of Passage. It's a way for us to kind of relive in a positive way our own adolescence and our own growing up.
I think you told me too, this has been kind of healing for you.
Yeah, healing for adolescence that was a challenging time for me. I didn't feel very good about myself and didn't realize at the time, but mostly it was because I didn't feel like I measured up as a young man. Wasn't good at sports and wasn't dating and all that sort of stuff. So,
I'm Manuel. I'm in the board of Boys to Men. I'm the treasurer. Been involved with the organization for about 3 years, and it is always amazing to see, particularly in nature, the impact of that nature has on kids that are mostly city boys and that have really not much opportunity to do this.
My name's Adon. I grew up in gangs and without a father and all that stuff that maybe some of these guys can relate to, and it's just it's a really good feeling that they have this opportunity and that they have these men that care about them and love them, and it's just beautiful because we love them and they love us, and it's just all giving, so it's just a beautiful experience, and it's really a blessing to be a part of it.
The thing about Rite of Passage work is we think of the boys and we think of them making that journey, but the real part about Rite of Passage work is about men. The men have to show up repeatedly, time and time again. Men need to be doing this work to be okay. We began to do work on some of our own stuff from our own teenage years. We heal our own wounds.
My name's Alexander Smith. This is my stick. And I'm involved with Boys to Men through Goodwill Metro, and it's a program I've been working through for a while. I guess I'm seeking a lot of spiritual guidance, and looking into myself, and I've found a lot of that in Boys to Men. It's also helped me find out who I want to be. I think now I want to work in the community and having something to offer, whether it's just being there to listen. It's definitely given me a lot of purpose that I didn't have before.
They used to do that in the olden days. They'd warm up rocks. Warm up.
The truth is we're all human beings. We have vulnerabilities, we have weaknesses. It's healthy to have a feeling reaction to my world. It's healthy that I have sadness and grief. But for young boys growing up today, if no men ever show and tell them that, how are they gonna feel safe to express anything?
Look at his other